शिशि गुरु गौरंग गंधार्विक गिरिधारी शिशि राधा विनोद बिहारी जू की जय। श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मरन मोहन जू की जय। नित्यालीला प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शत शिशुमार भक्ति वेदांत नारायण गोसाई महाराज श्री गुरुदेव की जय। नित्यालीला प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शत शिशुमार भक्ति वेदांत वामन गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्यालीला प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शत शिशुमार भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। नित्यालीला प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शत शिशुमार भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। नित्यालीला प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शत शिशुमार भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। नित्यालीला प्रविष्ट महाभागवत श्रील गोरक्षोदास बाबूजी महाराज की जय। नित्यालीला प्रविष्ट श्रील सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जय। नित्यालीला प्रविष्ट वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथ दास बाबूजी महाराज की जय। श्री रूपानुपर्य गुरु वर्ग की जय। श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्टदास रघुनाथ शारद गोसाई प्रभु की जय। श्री स्वरूप दामोदर राय रामानंदारी श्री गौर पार्षद वृंद की जय। नाम चय श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौरमंडल ब्रजमंडल मथुर वृंदावन धाम की जय। सर्व अभिष्ट प्रदात गिरिराज महाराज की जय। श्री राधा कुंद श्याम कुंद की जय। श्री यमुना देवी गंगा देवी की जय। श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जय। श्री भक्ति देवी की जय। श्री पूर्णमासी योग माया की जय। श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जय। श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बो। हरे कृष्णा दंडवत प्रणाम everybody. हरि बो. Okay, so I will share my screen right now and we will begin the Jaidwani, the Mangalacharan, and continue on with our reading. And today is a short reading, so we'll have time to do kirtan at the end. Ajnanatimidandhasya jnananjana shalakaya chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai shri guruve namaha. Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tar Bhaktaya Namo Namaha. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha. Sorry. Ajhanulambita bhujau kanakavadato Sankirtanaikapitaro Kamalayataksho Vishvambaro Dijavaro Yugadharma Palo Vande Jagat Priyakaro Karunavataro Namastrikala Satyaya Jagannatha Sutaya Cha Saprityaya Saputraya Sakalatraya Te Namaha. Jaya 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 Vishwambara Dijaraj Jaya Jaya Vishwambara Priya Vaishnava Samaj Gaurachandra Jaya Dharma Setu Mahadir Jaya Sankirtana Moy Sundara Sharir Jaya Nityanandir Bandhava Dhana Pran Jaya Gadadhar Advaitar Prema Dham Jaya Shri Jagarananda Priya Atishay, Jaya Vakreshwar Kashishwarer Hriday, Jai Jai Shivasadi Priya Varganath, Jiva Pratikoro Shubhad Sai Jiva Pratikoro Prabhu Shubha Drishtipat, Madhya-khaṇḍa Katha Jeno Amriter Khanda, Je Katha Shunile Ghuche Antar Pashanda, Madhya-khaṇḍa Katha Bhai Shuno Ek Chitte, Sankirtana Aramba Hoilo Jeno Mate. Oh, dear brothers, please hear attentively the topics of Madhya-khaṇḍa, wherein the inauguration of the Sankirtan pastimes is described. Tavaivasmi, na jivami tvaya vina, iti vigyaya devi tvam, nayamam charanantikam, bhaktya vihina aparada lakshai, क्षिप्ताष्टकामादितरङ्ग मध्ये कृपामयि त्वं शरणं प्रपन्ना वृन्दे नमस्ते चरणारविन्दम् भज श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The glories of Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata and Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur from Śrī Caitanya Charitamrita. Ore mura loko shuno Chaitanya Mangal, Chaitanya Mahima Jate Jani Beshaka, Krishna Lila Bhagavate Kohe Ved Vyas, Chaitanya Lila Vyas Vrindavana Das, Vrindavana Dasa Koilo Chaitanya Mangal, Jahara Shravane Nashe Sarvaya Mangal, Chaitanya Nitair Jate Janiye Mahima, Jate Jani Krishna Bhakti Siddhanter Sima, Bhagavate Jatta Bhakti Siddhanter Sar, Likhiya Chen Iha Jani Koriya Udhar, Chaitanya Mangala Shune Jadi Pashandi Javan, Sheho Maha Vaishnava Hoy Tatakhan, Manushe rachite nare aiche granta dhanya Vrindavana dasamukhe vakta Śrī Caitanya Vrindavana dasapore koti namaskar aiche granta korite ho tarila sansar Narayani Chaitanyar uchishta bhajan Tar garbe janmila Śrī Dasa Vrindavan तार की अर्भुत चैतन्य चरित वर्णन जहाँ रसवन शुद्ध कोइल त्रिभुवन सहजे विचित्र मधुर चैतन्य विहार वृंदावन दास मुखे अमृतेर धार वृंदावन दास मुखे अमृतेर धार. By nature, all the activities of Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu are very wonderful and sweet. And when they are described by Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur, they become like a shower of nectar. Jai Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata ki jai. Jai Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur ki jai. Jai Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada's Gaudiya Bhashya ki jai. Jai Shri Sachi-Nandan Gaur Hari ki jai. And Jai Murari Gupta ki jai, Jai Shriman Nityānanda Prabhu ki jai. The meeting of Nityananda Prabhu and Mahaprabhu ki jai. All right. So now we are continuing on with the third chapter of Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata, Madhya-khaṇḍa. This describes, well, sorry, I forgot to open up the file. Once it is here, Madhya 3. There it is. All right, let's bring this onto the screen now. Okay, so this is chapter 3. The Lord's manifestation of his, the Lord manifests his Varaha form in the house of Murari and meets with Nityananda Prabhu. This chapter describes the Lord's ecstatic mood, the Lord's manifestation of his Varaha form in the house of Murari Gupta, Murari's prayers to this form of the Lord, and then the characteristics of Śrī Nityānanda, Nityananda's arrival in Navadvip at the house of Nandana Ācārya, the Lord's description of his wonderful dream to the devotees, the Lord's demands for wine in the mood of Baladeva, the Lord's arrival at the house of Nandana Ācārya in the company of his devotees, the Lord's meeting with Nityānanda, and the Lord's various devices for revealing the glories of Nityānanda. And before I begin, Dandavat Pranams, Nri Hari Prabhu and Bhavatarani Mataji, and Kishore Krishna Prabhu and Champak Mataji. And on YouTube and Facebook, there's Ganga Mataji, Pradyumna Prabhu, Mantra Murthy Mataji, and I see a couple others. So if you write a comment, I'll see who you are. Dandavat Pranams, everybody. So I think we can read the verses from let's see. I'll read the verses 141 to 190, just the translations. That's what we read yesterday. So let's find that. 140. Is it 141? Yeah. Okay. Actually, no, let's go back a little bit further. Oh, wait, no, we're reading from 141 today. Yesterday, we read from 60. That's, God, I'm so dull. Okay, so let's read from this point onwards. Just the translations. Okay. In this, okay. Okay, so when the servants recognized their Lord, their hearts became filled with bliss. Then they no longer feared the atheists, and they freely and loudly chanted the names of Krishna at all public places. Now, finally, the Lord revealed himself to them. We just read how the Lord revealed himself to Murari. So, in the company of the Lord, all the devotees happily engaged day and night in chanting the holy names. All the devotees assembled together, except Nityananda. Everybody was there except Nityananda. Gaurachandra became unhappy on not seeing his brother. Vishwambar constantly remembered Nityananda, and Nityananda, who is non-different from Ananta, could understand this. In this connection, please hear the narrations regarding Nityananda. I will briefly describe his birth and activities in the form of quotes, in the form of a sutra. In Raradesh, there is a village named Ekachakra, where Lord Nityananda took birth. Near this village, there is a deity of Modeshvar Shiva that was worshipped by Nityananda Haladar. In this village lived a Brahman named Hadai Pandit, who was greatly renounced and full of compassion. His chaste wife's name was Padmavati. She was a great Vaishnavi and the mother of the universe. Both the Brahman and his wife were most magnanimous. In their house, Nityānanda took birth. Lord Nityānanda was the eldest of their sons. On seeing all his auspicious symptoms, one's eyes were satiated. His childhood pastimes have already been described in the Ādi-khaṇḍa. If I narrate them again here, this book will become voluminous. In this way, Lord Nityānanda engaged in blissful pastimes as he lived for some days in the house of Hadai Pandit. Nityananda Prabhu then decided to leave home, but his parents, fearing distress in his absence, did not leave him alone. If Nityananda's mother did not see him for a moment, she considered that moment equal to a yuga, and his father considered it even longer. Hadai Oja could not go anywhere without Nityananda for even a moment. Whether farming, in the house of his disciple, in the marketplace, or on the road, whatever he was doing, he would glance at Nityananda 100 times every minute out of fear that he might leave. As Hadai Pandit repeatedly embraced him, the soft as butter, delicate body of Nityananda would merge in his body. In this way, Hadai Pandit went everywhere accompanied by his son. It seemed Hadai Pandit was the body and Nityananda was the life air. As the Supersoul, Nityananda knew everything. He stayed with his father for his pleasure and as a matter of duty. One day, by providence, an attractive sannyasi arrived at the house of Hadai Pandit. Nityananda's father invited him for a meal and happily kept him in his house. Nityananda's father passed the entire night discussing topics of Krishna with the sannyasi. In the early morning, when the sannyasi was about to leave, he spoke to Nityananda's father as follows. The sannyasi said, "I wish to beg alms from you." Nityananda's father replied, "Ask for whatever you like." The sannyasi said, "I have a plan to visit the holy places, but I do not have a suitable Brahmin companion. Please give me this eldest son of yours to accompany me for some days. I will take better care of him than my own life. He will be able to see all the holy places." On hearing the words of the sannyasi, the pure Brahmin became afflicted with distress and contemplated as follows. "This sannyasi has asked for my very life, and if I don't give him, I will be ruined. Many great personalities in the past have given their lives to sannyasis and thereby achieved auspiciousness. Vishwamitra previously begged Dasharath for his son Ramachandra, who was Dasharath's very life. Although the king could not live without Ram, he nevertheless gave him. This is described in the Puranas. The same thing has happened to me today. Oh Krishna, please save me from this dilemma. By providence, it was the same By providence, it was the same situation. So why the mentality would not be the same? Otherwise, why would Lakshman appear in his house? After contemplating in this way, the Brahmin went to his wife and explained the situation in detail. On hearing about the request, the chaste wife and mother of the universe, Padmavati Devi, she said, "Dear Prabhu, I agree with whatever you decide." The father of Nityananda then came before the sannyasi with his head down and handed over his son to the sannyasi. Noya Mata, his head was down. The best of sannyasis then departed with Nityananda. In this way, Nityananda left home. As soon as Nityananda left home, the Brahmin Hadai Pandit fell unconscious to the ground. Who can describe that Brahmin's pathetic crying? Even stone and wood melted from the sound. Haro Oja became overwhelmed and inert in the mellows of ecstatic love. in Bhakti Ras. People said, Haro Oja has become mad. Indeed, he did not eat anything for 3 months. He survived only by the mercy of Śrī Caitanya. Why does the Lord leave someone who is so attached to him? This is the inconceivable authority of Lord Vishnu and the Vaishnavas. Haribol Vidyalala Sadidi. Lord Kapila displayed indifference by leaving behind his widowed mother. Shukadev left behind such a great Vaishnava father as Vyasadeva without even looking back at his face. The crest jewel of sannyasis displayed indifference by leaving behind his helpless mother Shachi. On the spiritual platform, such renunciation is not renunciation. Only a few great personalities can understand this topic. These pastimes are all meant for the deliverance of the living entities. Even wood melts by hearing such topics. On hearing about Dasharath's lamentation after sending away his son Ram, even the Yavanas cry profusely. In this way, Lord Nityānanda left home and traveled to the holy places out of his own sweet will. The most magnanimous Nityānanda visited Gaya, Kashi, Prayag, Mathura, Dwarka, and the ashram of Naranarayan. He went to the place of the Buddhists and the residence of Vyas. He visited Ranganath, Setubandha, and the Malaya hills. He then went to Anantapur and fearlessly traveled through uninhabited forests. He visited the Gomati, Gandaki, Sarayu, and Kaveri rivers. He also went to Ayodhya and then wandered throughout the forest of Dandakaranya. He went to Trimalla, Venkatanath, Sapta Godavari, the abode of Lord Shiva, and Kanyakumari. Lord Nityānanda visited the Reva River, Mahishmati, Mallatirtha, and Haridwar, where the Ganga Haridwar, where the Ganga descended in ancient times. In this way, after traveling to all the holy places, Lord Nityānanda returned to Mathura. No one could recognize Nityānanda, the origin of Ananta, as he roared loudly on seeing his previous birthplace. Haribol Krishnamaya Didi. He remained always in the mood of a child, without displaying any other mood, as he sported in the dust of Vrindavan. He never endeavored for his meals, and repeatedly rolled in the dust of Vrindavan in the mood of a child. No one could understand his magnanimous characteristics. He did not consume anything other than the mellows of Krishna consciousness. On some days, he drank some milk if someone offered him without asking. In this way, Nityananda Prabhu resided in Vrindavan, while in Navadvip. In this way, Nityananda Prabhu resided in Vrindavan, while in Navadvip, Gaura Chandra revealed himself. And as we discussed yesterday, Nityananda Prabhu was, he was 12 years old when he left, right? When Mahaprabhu appeared, and he spent a long time in Vrindavan, right? Hari Prabhu was mentioning. The Lord constantly engaged in Sankirtan in great happiness, yet he became unhappy on not seeing Nityananda. Nityananda understood that the Lord had manifested himself. He had waited in Vrindavan for this moment. On realizing this, he immediately went to Navadvip, where he stayed at the house of Nandana Ācārya. Does anybody here know how long Mahaprabhu performed the Sankirtan pastimes in Navadvip before he took sannyas? Was it like a couple years, maybe? Yeah.
They asked Gurudev. And Gurudev asked, like, why are you asking?
Okay.
But I don't know.
I'm just trying to get the idea of everybody's age because Rukmini Didi said that it was around 2 decades that Nityananda Prabhu was traveling all over. And Nrihari Prabhu mentioned that Nityananda Prabhu spent a long time in Vrindavan. And then yeah. So then that would mean that Mahaprabhu was like around 20 years old, right? Because he started going on pilgrimage when Mahaprabhu appeared. And so then, and Mahaprabhu took sannyas when he was 24. So, um, yeah. Yeah, and yeah. Okay, so on realizing this, he immediately went to Navadip, where he stayed at the house of Nandana Ācārya. So that means that when Nityananda Prabhu went to Vrindavan, he was like, sorry, when he went to Navadip, he was 30 what? 30 something.
Maybe 32. If
32.
he traveled for 20 years
Yeah.
and he was 12 when he left home, so it must have been at least 30, 32.
Okay. So he's around 32 years old. Yes.
Yeah. Older brother.
Yes. So,
Big brother.
Nandana Ācārya. Oh, what was that?
In Hawaii here, they call it big brother,
Oh, big brother.
the older brother.
Nandana Ācārya was a Maha. So Nityananda Prabhu, he went. So on realizing this, that Nityananda understood that the Lord had manifested himself, and Nityananda was waiting in Vrindavan for this moment. Now the Lord's manifesting that I am, he's starting the Sankirtan pastimes, and so and he's also revealed that he is the Lord, right? So on realizing this, he immediately went to Navadip, where he stayed in the house of Nandana Ācārya. Nandana Ācārya was a Mahabhagavat. He saw that the bodily effulgence of Nityananda was equal to the sun. Kalashini Spurjat Timirahara Surya Prabhamaham. It's from Nityananda Ashtakam. Nityananda appeared as a great avadut with a large body. He was always grave and most sober. He chanted the names of Krishna day and night. He was the abode of Lord Chaitanya, incomparable within the three worlds. Sometimes he roared loudly in his own ecstasy. He appeared greatly intoxicated, just like the incarnation of Balaram. Oops. His attractive face defeated the beauty of millions of moons. Saraj Chandra Bhrantim. His enchanting smile was the life and soul of the universe. What is that? And Smitamukham. Saragunanetra. No, I'm sorry. Okay. The effulgence of his teeth defeated that of pearls, and his two broad reddish eyes increased the beauty of his face. His hands stretched down to his knees, and his chest was high. His two soft lotus feet were expert in movement. He spoke to everyone with great compassion. On hearing the words from his lotus mouth, one's bondage to fruitive activities was destroyed. When Lord Nityananda arrived in Nadia, there were shouts of joy all over the world. Shakala Bhuvani Jai Jai Dhwani Kai. Hari Bol Sudevi Didi and Raseshwari Mataji. Who can describe the glories of that Lord who broke the sannyas danda of Gaurasundar? The entire universe is purified by chanting the names of He who delivered the fallen, the foolish, and the merchants. Nandana Ācārya welcomed Nityananda Prabhu, fed him, and kept him in his house. Anyone who hears about the arrival of Nityananda in Navadip will certainly receive the wealth of love, the Prem Dhan. When Vishwambar understood that Nityananda had arrived, he became unlimitedly joyful at heart. Ananta Harisha. On some pretext, the Lord had previously given the Vaishnavas some hint about Nityananda's arrival, yet none of them had understood. "Oh, brothers, within 2 or 3 days, some great personality will come here." By providence, after worshipping Vishnu that same day, Gaurachandra soon met with all the Vaishnavas. The Lord told everyone, "Today I have seen something very wonderful in a dream." Okay, that's what we're reading. That's where we left off yesterday. One second, just putting something under my feet. Okay. The Lord told everyone, "Today I didn't sing the Bengali. Sabakar stane prabhu kohen apane, aji ami aparupa dekhilu swapane." The Lord told everyone, "Today I have seen something wonderful in a dream." Taladwaja ekarat samsarer sar, asiya rohilo ratha amar duar. A chariot adorned by a flag marked with a palm tree, an expert in bestowing the essence of life on all people, arrived at my doorstep. A chariot that's expert in just bestowing the essence of life? What does it say? Tala dvaja ekarat, sangsarer sar. Sangsarar, that's interesting. Okay. Sangsarer sar. तार माझे देखी एक प्रकांड शरीर, महा एक स्तंभ स्कंधे गति nahi sthir. Within the chariot, I saw someone with a huge body, prakanda sharir. He held a post on his shoulder, and his movements were unsteady. Gaudiya Bhashya by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada. I saw a great personality with a massive body sitting within the chariot, adorned by a flag marked with a palm tree. He carried a pole on his shoulder. In other words, he carried a plow and club. He was maddened with restlessness. Betra banda eka kamandalu bama hate, nila vastra paridhana nila vastra mate. In his left hand, he carried a water pot wrapped with cane. He was dressed in blue garments, and his head was decorated with a blue cloth. Gaudiya Bhashya. Like Baladeva, he wore blue cloth on his upper and lower limbs. He held a water pot made of cane in his left hand. Bhama Shruti Mule Eka Kundal Vichitra, Haladar Bhava Heno Bujhi Je Charitra. His left ear was decorated with a charming earring. By his characteristics, I could understand that he was none other than Haladar. Gaudiya Bhashya. He wore an enchanting golden earring on his left ear. By seeing his characteristics, I naturally thought that he was absorbed in the mood of Baladeva. E body nimai panditer hoy hoy, dashbar bishabar e kata koi. He repeatedly inquired 10 or 20 times, "Is this the house of Nimai Pandit?" Maha avadhuta vesh parama prachanda, ar kabu nahi dekhi emon udanda. He was dressed like an avadhut and appeared to be most powerful. I have never seen such a personality before. Dekhiya sambrahma bodo pailama ami, jigyasilo ami kon mahajana tumi. I was filled with respect on seeing him and asked, "Which great personality are you?" Hasiya amare bole E bhai hoy, tomai amai kali hoibo porichoy. He smiled and said, I am your brother. Tomorrow we will meet. Gaudiya Bhashya. He smiled and said to me, I am your brother. Tomorrow we will get to know each other. Harisha barilo shuni tahar bachan. Apanare baso mui jeno she sama. I became most pleased by hearing his words, and I considered myself to be identical with him. Gaudiya Bhashya. Mahaprabhu said, my happiness increased on hearing the words of that personality whom I saw in my dream. On seeing him, I felt like I am he. Kohite Prabhur Bahya Shab Gelo Dur, Paladar Bhave Prabhu Garjaye Prachur. While speaking in this way, the Lord lost his external consciousness and roared loudly in the mood of Haladar. Moda ano, moda ano, moda ano, moda ano, Boli Prabhu Dake, Hunkar Shunite Jeno Dui Karna Pate. The Lord repeatedly cried out, bring wine, mod ano, mod ano. His cry was so loud that everyone's eardrums were almost broken. Gaudiya Bhashya. While describing in this way, the Lord shouted, bring wine, in such a way that the listeners' ears were practically broken. Shrivasa Pandita Bole, Shuno ho Goshai, Je Modira Chaho Tumi, She Tomar Thai, Tumi Jare Bilao, She Taha Pai, Kompito Bhakatagon Dure Rahi Chai. Srivas Pandit said, please hear me, O Goshai. The wine that you are demanding is available only with you. Only one whom you give it to can have it. The devotees were trembling as they looked on from a distance. Gaudiya Bhashya. When Srivas Pandit heard the roaring of the Lord in the mood of Baladeva, he said, that wine that you are requesting to drink is not available anywhere else. It is available only with you. Only one who receives that wine from you can also have it. Only one who receives that wine from you can also have it. Mone mone chintesha Vaishnaver gan, Abhashya ihar kichu achaye karan. All the Vaishnavas contemplated. There must be a reason for this. Arja tarja pore prabhu aruna nayan, hasiya dolai anga jeno sankarshan. The reddish-eyed Lord recited poems and laughed as his body swayed back and forth like sankarshan. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word arja here refers to the line of a poem. Those poems with lines having more syllables than prescribed and that are also not essays are called arjas. The word tarja refers to arjas in the form of spontaneously composed songs. Interesting. Kshane ke hoila prabhu swabhava charitra swapna artha sabare bakhane rama mitra. After a while, the Lord returned to his normal state. Then the friend of Ram began to explain the meaning of the dream. Heno bhuji mor chitte loy eka katha kono mahapurusheka asiyache etha. It appears to me that some great personality has arrived here. I do not understand this. Why does it say... Oops, I forgot to read the Gaudiya Bhashya. Sorry about that. Gaudiya Bhashya. After a while, when the Lord regained his composure, the friend of Balaram. Oh, it should say the friend of Balaram here. That's what confused me. Balaram. Okay. So after a while, when the Lord regains his composure, the friend of Balaram explains the meaning of the dream. If the word Ram Mitra refers to Hanuman, the servant of Ram, then it indicates that Murari Gupta explains the meaning of the Lord's dream. Okay, so I guess that's why it's left Ram, because it could either refer to Balaram or Murari Gupta. The phrase Swabhava Charitra Hoila indicates that the Lord regains his normal or natural state. Okay, so this is either the Lord speaking or it's Murari Gupta explaining the Lord's dream. So, Heno Buji Mor Chite Loe Eka Kata, Kono Mahapurusheka Asiache Eta. It appears to me that some great personality has arrived here. Purve ami boliacho toma sabar sthane, kono mahajana sane hoibo darshane. I have already previously informed you that we will soon meet a great personality. Cholo Haridasa, cholo Shrivasa Pandita, chaho giya dekhi ke, aise kon bhita. O Haridas, O Shrivas, go immediately and see who has come. Dui Mahabhagavata, Prabhur Adeshe, Sarva Navadvipa Chahi Bulaye Harishe. On the order of the Lord, the two Mahabhagavats happily searched throughout Navadvip. Gaudiya Bhashya. Both Haridas Thakur and Shrivas Pandit are Mahabhagavats. By the will of Sri Gaurasundar, they began to joyfully search all the villages of Navadvip, beginning with Sri Mayapur, to find that great personality who had appeared in the Lord's dream. Haribo Rukmini Didi. Dandavat Pranam. Chahite chahite katha kohe tui jan, e buji hoi aila kiba Prabhu Sankarshan. While searching in this way, they confided to each other, it seems Lord Sankarshan has come. Anande vivala duhe chahiya bedai, tilar deka udesha kota o nahi pai. Overwhelmed in ecstasy, the two looked everywhere, but were unable to get any indication of where he was. Shakala nadiya tina prahara chahiya, aila prabhur sthane, kaho na dekhiya. They looked all over Nadia for 9 hours without finding anyone, and then returned to the Lord. Nivedilo asidonhe prabhur charane, upadhika kotha o nahilo darshane, ki Vaishnava ki sannyasi ki grihastha stal, pashandir ghar adi dekhilu shakal. Chahilama sarva navadvipa jar nam, shabena chahilo prabhu giya anya gram. The two informs the Lord, we have not found anyone new. We have searched the residences. We have searched the residence of the Vaishnavas, sannyasis, and grihastas. We have even gone to the houses of the atheists. We have looked all over Navadvip, but we did not go outside Navadvip. Gaudiya Bhashya. The two returned to the Lord and said, we haven't found anyone new or anyone with different external symptoms. We have searched all over Navadvip for 9 hours at the residence of Vaishnavas, sannyasis, and grihastas. We even went to the houses of the atheists who were envious of the Vaishnavas. We have searched everywhere except the villages outside Navadvip. Dohar vachana shuni hase Gaura Chandra, Chole Pujailo Boro Gura Nityananda. Gaur Chandra smiled as he heard their report. By this pastime, he revealed that Nityananda is most confidential. Boro Gura. Gaudiya Bhashya. Due to the covered nature of Gaur's pastimes, no one can immediately recognize Krishna and Balaram. Nityananda is also the most confidential covered form of Baladeva. Mahaprabhu smiled as he disclosed the confidential mystery of Śrī Nityananda to Haridas and Srivas. Ei avatare ke ho Gaura Chandra gai, Nityananda nama shuni utiya polai. Pujaye Govinda jeno namane Shankar, Ei pape aneke jaibo jamaghar. Some persons sing the glories of Gaurachandra in this incarnation and run away when they hear the name of Nityananda. If one worships Govinda but does not respect Lord Shiva, as a result of this sin, he will go to the abode of Jamaraj. Gaudiya Bhashya. Just as many people who worship the Supreme Lord remain indifferent to the worship of his devotees and nourish hatred towards the devotees, and as a result are eligible for punishment by Yamaraj, similarly, those who display a lack of faith for Nityananda, who is none different from Baladeva Prabhu, while being faithful to Gaur Sundar, commit offenses and as a result invite misfortune and punishment. Sri Rudradev is the topmost Vaishnava. He is an Acharya and teacher of devotional service to Vishnu. Therefore, anyone who disrespects him does not achieve any benefit. Just as the disciplic succession of Vishnu Swami has originated from Mahadev, pure devotional service has been propagated in this world by the mercy of Śrī Nityananda. Acharyatva tu Govindam ta diyan narchayit tuya na sa bhagavato geya kevalam dambika smrita. Sorry, one who performs worship of Lord Govinda but fails to worship his devotees should be understood to be not a devotee of the Lord, but simply a victim of false pride. Kevalam dambika smrita. Should be understood to be a victim of false pride. The undivided absolute truth, Brajendra Nandan, and his devotees are one. They are one just as there is no difference between the energy and the energetic. Shakti Shakti Matayor Abed. Those who try to make a distinction between Lord Vishnu and the Vaishnavas have no possibility of achieving auspiciousness. Boro Gura Nityānanda ei avatare, Caitanya dekhaya jare, she dekhite pare. In this incarnation, Lord Nityananda is most confidential. One can see him only when Lord Chaitanya reveals himself. Gaudiya Bhashya. Only the dear servants of Śrī Caitanya-dev can, by his mercy, understand the characteristics of Śrī Nityananda. It is impossible for conditioned souls to take shelter of the lotus feet of Śrī Nityananda. The truth regarding Nityananda is realized only by the grace of Śrī Chaitanya's merciful form as the Chaita Guru, the Super Soul. By uselessly and proudly advertising themselves as devotees of Chaitanya, ordinary ignorant people who are averse to Chaitanya cannot understand the most confidential pastimes of Nityananda. Those who are not awakened to spiritual consciousness have no entrance in the they have no entrance in the unmanifested, most mysterious pastimes of Nityananda. Ignorant fools exhibit disgust on seeing the pastimes of Nityananda. That is why they are punished by Yamaraj and ultimately receive unlimited suffering. Na bhuji je ninde tana charitra agadha. Paya o Vishnu bhakti hoy tara badha. The progress of anyone who blasphemes him without understanding the depth of his characteristics is obstructed, even if he achieves devotional service to Vishnu. Gaudiya Bhashya. Those who find restlessness in Nityananda's characteristics, which are adorned with gravity as deep as the ocean, and are thus cheated from attaining the shelter at his lotus feet and blaspheming him by not understanding his supreme service to Gaur Krishna, even though they are constitutionally eternal servants of Krishna, they fall from their position as servants of Krishna and ruin themselves by lording it over material nature. Sarvata Shivasa Adi Tar Tattva Jane Na Hoilo Deko Kona Kotuka Karane. Devotees like Srivas certainly know the truth regarding Nityananda, but for some curious reason, they could not find him. Gaudiya Bhashya. There are many mysteries in the pastime of unsuccessfully searching for Śrī Nityananda Prabhu exhibited by the eternally perfect associates of the Lord like Srivas Pandit. Baladeva Prabhu hid himself and did not show his form to Haridas and Srivas Pandit. He has thereby shown that the eternal absolute truth cannot be seen through external practice or designation. Wow, very important point. This is like our whole process is based on this point that you can't see the absolute through your own endeavor. You have to make an endeavor, but it's not just through that endeavor that you achieve perfection. It's by when mercy descends. We're followers of the avaroha panta, the descending process, not the aroha panta. Chane ke Thakura bole ishat hasiya aisho amar sange sabe dekhi giya. After a while, the Lord smiled and said, "Everyone, come and see him with me." That must be okay. Ulase Prabhur sange sarva bhaktagan Jai Krishna boli sabe korila gaman. Can you imagine how exciting that would be? All the devotees happily went with the Lord while chanting Jai Krishna. Sabaloya Prabhu Nandana Ācārya ghar Janiya utilo giya Śrī Gaurasundar. Śrī Gaurasundar led all the devotees to the house of Nandana Ācārya. Boshiyache eka maha purusha ratan Shabe dekilen jeno koti surja sama. Sitting there was one great jewel-like personality. Everyone saw that his effulgence was like that of millions of suns. Koti surja. Alakita abesh pujana nahi jai Dhyana shuke paripurna hasaye sadai. No one could understand his internal mood. His was absorbed in happiness from his meditation and he continually smiled. He was absorbed in happiness from his meditation and he continually smiled. Gaudiya Bhashya. Unless one sees Nityananda Prabhu with service-inclined eyes, one will never understand his mood. Externally, he was constantly smiling, and internally, he was always absorbed in the happiness of Śrī Caitanya's service. Mahabhakti Yoga Prabhu Bhujiya Tahar Gana Saha Vishvambhara Hoila Namaskar. Understanding his pure devotional mood, Vishwambar and the devotees offered him obeisances. Gaudiya Bhashya. Jai Jai, Rukmini Didi saying, Jai Jai, Śrī Nityananda Rai. Jai Nityananda Prabhu ki Jai. I should have said that when they saw Nityananda Prabhu this time. Yeah, this is the first, actually, this is the moment when Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu first came physically in contact with each other. So, Jai Gaur Nitai ki Jai. Mahabhakti Yoga Prabhu Bhujiya Tahar Gana Saha Vishwambara Hoila Namaskar. Understanding his pure devotional mood, Vishwambar and the devotees offered him obeisances. Gaudiya Bhashya. On seeing his pure devotional mood, Gaur Hari and his followers offered obeisances to Nityānanda. Sambhrame Rohila Sarva Gana Dandaya Keho Kichu Na Bolen Rohilo Chahiya. Everyone then stood there watching him in awe and reverence without speaking a word. Samukhe Rahila Maha Prabhu Vishwambar Chinilen Nityānanda Praner Ishwar. Mahaprabhu Vishwambar stood directly in front of Nityananda, who immediately recognized the Lord of his life. Jai Gaur Nitai ki Jai. Jai. Vishwambara. Vishwambara Murti Jaino Madana Saman. Divya Gandha Malya Divya Vasa Paridhan. The form of Vishwambar was as attractive as that of Cupid. He was decorated with divine sandalwood pulp, flower garlands, and garments. Gaudiya Bhashya. The most grave form of the original personality of Godhead, Sri Mahaprabhu, was adorned with various ornaments, beautified with fragrant flower garlands, dressed in shining garments, and more enchanting than millions of cupids. Oh, and Kishore, I missed this comment from Kishore. He said that Guru Maharaj, I guess that's Srila Bhaktivedanta Bharati Goswami Maharaj, explains that they could not find Nitai because Mahaprabhu reveals the Guru, and Krishna gives Guru, and the Guru gives Krishna. It's by the mercy of Krishna that we get Guru. If we sincerely pray to Krishna for Guru, Krishna will definitely give us a bona fide Guru, his representative. And then it's by the mercy of Guru that we get Krishna. So that's what's explained in that pastime of Srivas Pandit and Haridas Thakur not being able to find Nityananda. Okay, so the form of Vishwambar was as attractive as that of Cupid. He was decorated with divine sandalwood pulp, flower garlands, and garments. Ki hoy kanaka duti she deher age, she vadana dekhite, chander sadha lage. How can the luster of shining golds be compared with his body? Even the moon desires to see his face. Gaudiya Bhashya. His most dazzling bodily effulgence diminished the luster of gold. Sri Gaurasundar was such a matchlessly beautiful personality that the moon, whose unparalleled beauty is described by great poets, was full of anxiety to see his face. Manohar Shri Gauranga Nityānanda Rai Bhakta Jana Sange Nagare Bedai. Accompanied by the devotees, the most enchanting Shri Gauranga and Nityananda wander throughout Navadvip. At the end, we'll sing Nityanandashtakam. There's a beautiful verse in there. Suvi Brahman Pratur Sarasara Sijam Go Malataram. She Danta Dekhite Kota Mukutar Dham. She Kesha Bandhan Dekhi Narohe Gayan. The value of pearls is minimized on seeing his beautiful teeth, and one loses consciousness on seeing his tied up hair, his Kesha Bandhan. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word Dham means class. The phrase Kesh Bandhan refers to braided hair. But in this case, it refers to top knotted hair. Kesh Bandhan means bound hair. So it could either be bound in a braid or bound in a top knot. Dekhite ajata dui aruna nayan. Ar ki kamala ache heno hoy gyan. One who sees his elongated lotus eyes wonders whether other lotuses exist. I'm just wondering, ajata. Never mind. Ajanu means thighs. Ajanu, I think, means like the up to the bottom of the end of his thighs, right? So ajata. Nayan. Anyways, never mind. Okay, sorry guys. One who sees his elongated lotus eyes wonders whether other lotuses exist. Gaudiya Bhashya, in comparison to the beauty of Gaurasundar's long lotus eyes, the beauty of other lotuses becomes insignificant. Do other lotuses even exist? Se ajanu dui bhuja, hriday supin, tahe shobha shukshma jagya sutra atikhin. His hands reach down to his knees, and his raised chest is adorned with a thin white Brahman thread. Gaudiya Bhashya. The phrase hriday supin refers to his raised chest. The phrase atikhin means very thin. The Brahmana thread is thin in comparison to his raised chest. Lalate vichitra urdhva tilaka sundar, abharana bina sarva anga manohar. His forehead is beautified with marks of tilak, and his entire body looks most enchanting, even without ornaments. Kiba hoy koti mani she nakhe chahite, she hasya dekhite kiba koribo amrite. What is the beauty of millions of jewels compared with the beauty of his toenails? What is the use of nectar when one sees his smile? Gaudiya Bhashya. If one sees Gaurasundar's toenails, he will see the beauty of millions of jewels present therein. His enchanting smile belittles nectar. Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata chanda jan, Vrindavana dasa tachu pada juge gan. Accepting Śrī Caitanya and Nityānanda Prabhu as my life and soul, I, Vrindavan Das, sing the glories of their lotus feet. Thus ends our English translation of the Gaudiya Bhashya commentary on Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata Madhya-khaṇḍa, chapter 3, entitled, The Lord manifests his Varaha form in the house of Murari and meets with Nityānanda. Okay, Jai Shri Gaur Nitai ki Jai. Jai Shri Gaur Nityānanda Prabhu ki Jai. Let's see now, what's the next chapter coming up? 1 second. Let's see this. Okay. So that's Adi Khanda. We just finished Prabhur Murarir Grihe Varaha Murti Prakatan O Nityānanda Saha Milan. So now in the next chapter, the 4th chapter, it's going to be Nityānanda Mahima Prakash. So that Nityānanda manifests his glories, or the manifestation of Nityānanda Prabhu's glories. And then the next chapter after that is Nityanandir Vyas Puja or Sharbhuja Darshan. Sharbhuj Darshan. So, yeah, next couple of, there's going to be a lot more Nityānanda Katha to come. And so it is 8:11 right now. So we still have some time left. I thought maybe we could sing the Nityānanda. So let's just where is it? Okay, so we'll sing the Nityānanda written by Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur. Let's open this up. I guess I should make this font a little bit smaller. Nah, I'll leave it as it is. Okay, so first we'll read the translation and then begin. Oh, I think I mistranslated this. It's not supposed to be Brantim, right? Sorry, Brantim here doesn't refer to wandering. The spirit of his bright face resembles a wandering autumnal moon. Huh? I don't know. I have to see how to translate it, but anyhow, we'll read the translation and begin. The spirit of his bright face resembles a wandering autumnal moon. His pure complexion glistens. His gait is like that of an elephant. He is utterly intoxicated in Krishna Prem, and he is the personification of pure spiritual energy, Vishuddha Sattva. His face is smiling. His eyes are ever rolling. His hand holds a staff, and by the performance of Nam Sankirtan, he dispels the forces of Kali. I perpetually worship Śrī Nityānanda Prabhu, the root of the Krishna Bhakti tree, of the Krishna Bhakti tree. If there's any places to make improvement on this translation, also let me know now, and we're about to reprint the Gaudiya Giti Gucha, so this is a chance to make any changes anywhere. And this Nityānanda is written by Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur as well. He is the abode of all rasas. He is everything to his devotees. He is beyond compare, and he is the dear husband of Vasudha and Janavadevi, who are his very life. He is always maddened in prem, and he is unknown only to those of mundane intelligence. I perpetually worship Śrī Nityānanda Prabhu, the root of the Krishna Bhakti tree. He is most dear to Mother Shachi's son. He is worshipped by the entire universe, and he is bursting with joy. By his unbounded mercy, he rescues the souls drowning in this age of Kali, and by performing Sri Harinam Sankirtan, he evaporates the swelling pride in this ocean of mundane existence. I perpetually worship Śrī Nityānanda Prabhu, the root of the Krishna Bhakti tree. Oh, my brother Gauranga, contaminated by the vices of Kali Yuga, what will become of mankind? He thus advises the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya. He says, please devise a purificatory method whereby they can easily attain your shelter. I perpetually worship Śrī Nityānanda Prabhu, the root of the Krishna Bhakti tree. Oh, brothers, simply chant incessantly the names of Sri Hari and let the responsibility of delivering you from the ocean of repeated birth and death rest upon me. While traveling constantly, he approached the door of every home, declaring this with outstretched arms. I perpetually worship Śrī Nityānanda Prabhu, the root of the Krishna Bhakti tree. How astonishing! He is just like Agastya Muni, who once swallowed the entire ocean, forcibly swallowing the ocean of repeated birth. He is just like Agastya Muni, who once swallowed the entire ocean, forcibly swallowing the ocean of repeated birth and death. He is the rising moon that causes the ocean of saintly persons' good fortune to swell. He is the brilliant sun blazing before the multitude of rogues and dispelling the darkness of their ignorance. I perpetually worship Śrī Nityananda Prabhu, the root of the Krishna Bhakti tree. There have been a couple comparisons in this chapter now to Nityananda Prabhu as being like the brilliant sun. Dancing, singing, and calling out the names of Sri Hari and delighting his own associates who are also absorbed in Sri Harinam Kirtan, so delighting them with his darshan, he roams each and every path, casting merciful glances upon the saintly from the corners of his eyes. I perpetually worship Śrī Nityananda Prabhu, the root of the Krishna Bhakti tree. He gently held the supremely soft lotus hands of his brother, their hearts soaring upward in the highest bliss as they gazed at each other's faces. We can just think of when they're meeting each other for the first time in Navadvip, what we just read about, when they're gazing at each other's faces. So he gently held the supremely soft lotus hand of his brother, their hearts soaring upwards in the highest bliss as they gazed at each other's faces. As he wandered here and there, he delighted the townspeople with his sweetness. Ahaha. I like this. Brahmantam Madhuryar, ahaha, Madhyayantam Purijanan. Delighted them. Ahaha. I perpetually worship Śrī Nityananda Prabhu, the root of the Krishna Bhakti tree. May Śrī Nityananda Prabhu's two lotus feet brilliantly manifest in the hearts of those who recite this unprecedented and supremely potent Nityanandashtakam, which is the reservoir of ras, the treasure of exalted rasic Vaishnavas, and the abode of the essence of bhakti ras. It bestows liberation upon all fallen souls who simply remember it. Oh, and Rukmini Didi is asking, is in the second verse, is param avaditam? Does that mean supremely unknown? Well, actually with this one, I've seen it translated in different ways, different places. So yeah, that's how I understood it. Param avaditam. Yeah. But I have seen it, if you compare a couple translations, we can look afterwards. If you compare different Bengali and Hindi translations, they translate that section, this part, as in different ways. Yeah, but he's supremely unknown to those who manda manasam, who have dull intelligence, manda, mundane. Actually, I wanted to see right now really quickly. I know, maybe here. Let's just check this out really quick. Areas. Where is it? I think it's here. Gaudiya Kirtan, GK songs, completed songs to add. These are all the things that I prepared, which didn't make it onto the Gaudiya Kirtan app. Really, really frustrating. Translations for here. Okay. Nityananda Ashtakam. Let's find it. How they translate it in the Gaudiya Stotra Namala. Okay, here. So here it is. Jini Nikhil Rasir Adhar. Jini Bhakta Ganer. Oh, sorry, looking right here. Manda Mati Ganer Nikat Durbigeya. Yeah, I guess Param is supremely unknown, completely unknown, like extremely unknown to those who have Mandamati. I think the Hindi had, I remember seeing it translated in a different way somewhere else though, and I didn't know if it was, anyways. Let me get the Mridanga 1 second. I'll be right back. Haraj Chandra Brante. Wait, let me just make sure that I have. Oops. Okay, there. Just had to turn off noise suppression so you can hear the mridanga. Okay, let's share this again. Okay. Sharaj Chandra Prantim Spuradamalakantim Gajagatim Hari Prenmon Mata Trita Paramasattvam Smita Mukam Sada Gurna Netram Karakalita Vetram Kalipidam Bhaje Nityānanda Bhajanataru Kandam Niravadi Rasanam Agaram Svajanagana Sarvasvamatulam Tadiyaika Prana Pratima Vasudha Janavapatim Sada Prenmon Madam Parama Viditam Mandamanasam Bhaje Nityānanda Bhajanataru Kandam Niravadi Shachi Suno Prishtam Nikhila Jagarishtam Sukamayam Alo Marjajivo Dharana Karano Dhamma Karuna Hare Rakyanarva Bhavajaladi Garvo Natiharam Bhaje Nityānanda Bhajanataru Kandam Niravadi Aye Bratar Nirnam Kali Kalushinam King Nubhavita Tata Prayashchitam Rachaya Yadanaya Sata Ime Prajanti Tvamitam Saha Bhagavata Mantrayatiyo Bhaje Nityānanda Bhajanataru Kandam Niravadi Yateshtam Rebrata Kuru Hari Hari Dvanamanisham Tato Vasangsaram Puditaranadayo Mailaget Idang Bahuspotar Atatiratayanya Pratigriham Bhaje Nityānanda Bhajanataru Kandam Niravadi Balat Samsarambo Nidhiharana Kumbhor Bhavamaho Satam Shreya Sindhu Nati Kumuda Bandum Samuditam Khalashe Nispurjat Timira Chandahara Surya Prabhamaham Bhaje Nityānanda Bhajana Tarukandam Niravadi Natantam Kayantam Hare Manovadantam Pati Pati Vrajantam Pashyantam Swamapi Nadayantam Janaganam Prakurvantam Santam Sakarunadrikantam Prakalanat Bhaje Nityānanda Bhajana Tarukandam Niravadi Subhibranam Pratu Karasarasijam Komalataram Nitho Vaktraloko Chalita Paramananda Hridayam Pramantam Madhuryat Ahamadayantam Purajanat Bhaje Nityānanda Bhajana Tarukandam Niravadi Rasanam Adharam Rasikavara Sarvaishnavadhanam Rasagaram Saram Patita Tatitaram Smaranata Param Nityānanda Ashtakamidam Apurvam Patatiyas Tarangri Dvandvabja Spurutu Nitaram Tasya Hridaya Bhaje Nityānandam Bhajana Tarukandam Niravadi Bhaje Nityānandam Bhajana Tarukandam Niravadi Jaya Nityānanda Ram Nityānanda Ram Nityānanda Ram Jaya Nityānanda Ram Jaya Nityānanda Ram Nityānanda Ram Nityānanda Ram Jaya Nityānanda Ram Jai Śrī Nityānanda Prabhu Ki Jai. I'm just looking, wait, Rukmini Didi said, Vrajanti Tvam Itham. Was there a mistake there? Let's see. Oops. Vrajanti Tvam Itham. Oh, it should not have a dot over the M. Got it. Wait, no. Vishnu Chakra, Vishnu Jan. No, it should have it. Oh yeah, because Saha isn't a Vishnu Jana, is it? I'm complete. Okay, no, I think it should stay like that. Yeah. Okay, 1 second. What's that? Oh, you didn't catch the translation of it. Yeah, it's supposed to be a dot, yeah. Because it's after Vishnu Jana, right? It's always Vishnu. I mean, yeah, when it's precedes a Vishnu Jana, it should always have it. Oh yeah. Vrajanti Tvam Itham. Yeah, so it should have something about like wandering about or something, right? Vrajanti. My dear huh. Yeah, let's see. Where does this is verse 4. What is it in the Bengali, like in the Gaudiya Stotra Ratnamala? Let's see. Here, I'll make it big so you can see. Erup jini Bhagavan Shri Gaurasundarer Sahit Mantrana Koren. I wonder what Vrajanti means then. I will highlight this to see what Vrajanti means. Okay. The verse that I had the most difficult with, and this is verse 7. Yeah. No, was it verse 7? No. Yes. What does Nadayantam mean? Nadayantam Janaganam. So, I think, God. In the Hindi one, they translate it in a really strange, like a very interesting way. They said that he wandered and he Pashyantam Swamapi, he gave his merciful, like he glanced at those who didn't even have daya for swam, for themselves. But that was the only place I saw it translated like that. That he would mercifully glance towards those who didn't even have mercy on their own selves. But I didn't see it translated like that anywhere else, and so we didn't end up translating it like that. Anyhow. All right, so, I didn't do Mahamantra, so Hare, causing sound. Yeah, Nadayantam. Okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. And for anybody who would like to see after Jai Nityānanda Ram Ki Jai, here, let's pin that there. That's at Eka Chakra, right? Yes, Jai Ho. For anybody who wants to stay afterwards, Kishore will do Jai Dwani now, but then afterwards, if anybody wants to see, I'll show you the table of contents for the new songbook. The songs that we're adding and the way it's going to be organized and all the changes to it and everything, if anybody's curious. But Kishore, I don't know when it will be released, but it has to be released before Gaur Purnima, because we're completely out of stock now. So, but yeah, so as soon as possible. But, all right, could you do Jaidvani?
Jai Nitai. Jai Sabrikar Sheshe Guru Gauranga Ganharita Giridhari Radha Vinar Vihari Radha Nainath Radha Raman Vihari Radha Marva Sheshe Radha Bankim Rai Jiv Ki Jai Sri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mahan Jiv Ki Jai Jai Natya Leela Pravishtam Vishnupar Paramhamsa Prevra Jakshar Varya Nityānanda Gauranga Antaranga Ashtotrashta Shishaman Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Guru Maharaj Ki Jai जय नत्यालेल प्रविष्टं विष्णुपाद परमहंस प्रेव्र जगचार्य वर्या स्तोत्रस्त शिष्यमार नित्यानंद गौरंग अंतरंग शील भक्तिविराट नारायण गोस्वामी महाराज परिपावन गुरुदेव की जय जय नत्यालेल प्रविष्टं विष्णुपाद स्तोत्रस्त शिष्यमान भक्ति बल तीर्थ गोस्वामी महाराज की जय नत्यालेल प्रविष्टं विष्णुपाद स्तोत्रस्त शिष्यमान भक्तिविराट वामन गोस्वामी महाराज की जय नत्यालेल प्रविष्टं विष्णुपाद स्तोत्रस्त शिष्यमान भक्तिभ्रांतर विक्रम गोस्वामी महाराज की जय नत्यालेल प्रविष्टं विष्णुपाद शिष्यमान गौरगण स्वामी महाराज की जय नत्यालेल प्रविष्टं विष्णुपाद स्तोत्रस्त शिष्यमान भक्ति प्रमोद पुरी गोस्वामी महाराज की जय नित्यालेल प्रविष्टो विष्णुपादस्थो दृष्ट शिशिमान् भक्ति रक्षक श्रीधर गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। जय नित्यालेल प्रविष्टो विष्णुपादस्थो दृष्ट शिशिमान् भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी गोस्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। शिल भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी महाराज प्रभुपाद की जय। जय नित्यालेल प्रविष्टो विष्णुपादस्थो दृष्ट शिशिमान् भक्ति द्वैतमान गोस्वामी परम गुरु महाराज की जय। जय नित्यालेल प्रविष्टो विष्णुपादस्थो दृष्ट शिष्यमान भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोस्वामी महाराज परम गुरुदेव की जय। जय नित्यालेल प्रविष्टो विष्णुपादस्थो दृष्ट शेषेमार जगद्गुरु श्री वर्षभानावि द्वैत दास शिल भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी ठाकुर प्रभुपाद की जय। स्वापरिकार शिल प्रभुपाद की जय। जय नित्यालेल प्रविष्ट ओम विष्णुपाद महापरम भगवत प्रवार परमहंस अष्टोत्तरस्त शिष्यमाद गौर किशोर दास बाबू महाराज की जय। नित्यालेल प्रविष्ट ओम विष्णुपाद सप्तम गोस्वामी अष्टोत्तरस्त शिष्यमाद सचितानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर महाशय की जय। नित्यालेल प्रविष्ट ओम विष्णुपाद वैष्णव सर्वोम अष्टोत्तरस्त शिष्यमाद जगन्नाथ बाबू महाराज की जय। सूर्य कुंदवासी सिद्धाशल मधुसूदन दास बाबू महाराज की जय। श्री उद्रदास उदनान दास की जय। गर्भदान आचार्य शिशुमान बलिदेव विभूषण प्रभु की जय। महामहोपाध्याय रसिक शिरोमणि शिल विश्वनाथ चक्रवर्ती ठाकुर पार की जय। शिल रसिकानंद मुरारी प्रभु की जय। शिल रामचंद्र कविराज की जय। श्री लोचन दास ठाकुर की जय। श्री नर हरि शंकर ठाकुर की जय। शिल नरोत्तम श्रीनिवास श्यामानंद प्रभुत्राय की जय। शिल कृष्णदास कविराज गोस्वामी प्रभु की जय। यशवदार अरिकावि नित्यानंद प्रिय शिष्य शिशिल वृंदावन दास ठाकुर महाशय की जय। श्री अष्टकविराज वसुर जानव नित्यानंद दुर्श गोपाल श्री चौषति महंत की जय। जय श्री रूप श्री सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्ट रास रघुनाथ सर गोस्वामी प्रभु की जय। श्री स्वरूप दामोदर रय रमानंद लोकनाथ पुकार अरि गौर परिसार वृंद की जय। नमाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्री वसति गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। शल ईश्वर पुरी गोस्वामी पाद की जय। शल माधवेंद्र पुरी गोस्वामी पाद की जय। श्री लक्ष्मीपति तीर्थ पाद की जय। श्री अंतरदीप मायापुर सिमरदीप गौतमदीप मध्यदीप गौलदीप रेतदीप जानदीप माधुर द्रुमादीप रुद्रदीप मात्मकाशी नवदीप धाम की जय। श्री नंद भगवान की जय। श्री गौर नित्यानंद मिलान की जय। जय श्री एक चक्र धाम की जय। श्री एक चक्र धमेश्वर की जय। जय श्री मरेश्वर श्री शिव महादेव की जय। जय श्री एक चक्र धामेर यमुना की जय। श्री हंटुकंठ की जय। श्री जगन्नाथ मंदिर की जय। श्री पन्नवतिला की जय। श्री हराय पंडित की जय। श्री पद्मावती देवी की जय। श्री निताय लाल की जय। श्री बंकिम राय की जय। श्री निताय कुंड की जय। बोलो श्री एक चक्र धाम की जय। श्री श्री वसुर जानव नित्यानंद राम की जय। श्री शांतिपुर धाम की जय। श्री गौरचंद्र भगवान की जय। श्री गौर नित्यानंद की जय। श्री श्री गौर गदाधर की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपीनाथ गोपी गोपा गो गिर गोवर्धन श्री ब्रजमंडल धाम की जय। श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड गंगा सखी आमर सखी तुलसी भक्ति देवी की जय। वृषभानुनंदिनी श्रीमती राधा रानी ठाकुरानी की जय। श्री ललिता विशाखा चित्र चंपकलत तुंग विद्या इंदुलेखा रंगदेवी सुदेवी अरि सखी वृंद की जय। श्री अनंग प्रेम मंजलाली श्री रूप लभंग राग विलस गुण रति कस्तूरी कमल नयन मणि अरि मंजारी वृंद की जय। श्री सुबाल मरुमंगल अरिसक वृंद की जय। श्री धव भैया की जय। श्री बलदेव प्रभु की जय। जय श्रीमती वृंद देवी की जय। श्री भगवती पूर्णमासी उमा देवी की जय। श्री गोपीश्वर सर शिव महादेव की जय। राधा पंकित राम श्री वृंदावन की जय। जय श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा सुदर्शन चक्र नीलमाधव जी की जय। जय श्री तत्व गोपीनाथ की जय। जय श्री दंड मंगल लीला स्थल की जय। जय शिल प्रभुपाद जन्मस्थान की जय। जय श्री जगन्नाथपुरी पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र मंडल नीलाचल धाम की जय। सर्वा विघ्न विनाशन करे भक्त विघ्न विनाश श्रीन्द्र सिंह देव की जय। भक्तराज भक्त प्रवर श्री प्रहलाद महाराज की जय। श्री प्रहलाद लक्ष्मी सिंह देव की जय। श्री छरि राम छरि सम्प्रदाय छरि आचार्य की जय। श्री मध्वार मनोजा विष्णु स्वामी नंबरित्य छरि आचार्य की जय। आकर्मतरा श्री चैतन्य मार्ग की जय। श्री गौरी मार वृंद की जय। ग्रंथरा श्रीमाद भगवताम भगवद गीता चैतन्य चरितामृत चैतन्य भगवत नित्यानंद चरितामृत जैव धर्म हरि सर्व गौरी वैष्णव ग्रंथ वृंद की जय। त्रिभुवन मंगल श्री हरि राम प्रभु की जय। त्रिभुवन मंगल श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन धर्म की जय। त्रिभुवन मंगल धन्य कलयुग तर्क ब्रह्म श्री हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम राम हरे हरे महामंत्र की जय। श्री आनंद पुरी वैष्णव वृंद की जय। श्री समर्कट गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। परम ब्रह्मन परमेश्वर परमा सत्यम पति पावन प्रेम पुरुषोत्तम स्वयं भगवान जगन्नाथ मिश्र नंदन गौर सुंदर गराधर प्राणनाथ श्री विश्वम्बर मिश्र निमाय पंडित श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य चंद्र महाप्रभु की जय। परमा करुणामय नित्यानंद प्रभु की जय। परमा दयाल नित्यानंद प्रभु की जय। अक्रोध परमानंद नित्यानंद राय की जय। पद्मावती सुता की निताय की जय। हराय सुत निताय की जय। वसुर वसुर प्राण बल्लभ निताय की जय। जानव जीवन निताय की जय। गौरक्त कलेवर नित्यानंद राम की जय। श्री श्री वसुर जानव नित्यानंद राम की जय। श्री वीरचंद्र गोस्वामी की जय। श्री गंगदेव की जय। श्री एक चक्र धाम की जय। श्री श्री गौर नित्यानंद की जय। जय श्री चैतन्य भगवान की जय। नित्यानंद प्रिय शिष्य शिल वृंदावन दास ठाकुर की जय। श्री गौर नित्यानंद प्रिय अंतरंग शिल प्रभुपाद भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी ठाकुर की जय। शिल प्रभुपाद गौरी वश्य की जय। जय श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरे हरि बोल। ओम वृंदाय तुलसीदेव्याय प्रिय केशवस्य च कृष्ण भक्ति प्रददेवी सत्यवत्याय नमो नमः। वंशाकल्पतरुश्च कृपा सिन्धुवेव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय निताय। You're on mute, bro.
I just said I got a call from nature, so I have to end the video quickly today. Sorry about that. But if there's anything to discuss about Nityānanda, we can discuss tomorrow. But thank you so much for joining, everybody. Dandavat pranams. I gotta run. So Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Hari Prabhu, Bhavatarani Mataji. There's so many devotees here. Dandavat pranams, everybody. Hari Bol.